everyone, we are back with another Flower Nose perfume video, and today I'm going to be sharing and reviewing with you guys the two newest perfumes from Flower Nose, which is from their Shells Jewel collection. So you guys know I am a huge Flower Nose fan and collector, so I of course had to get both of the new perfumes as always, and I am going to let you guys know everything I think about these. I'm gonna let you know all the notes, which ones I like, if I don't like them, which one I'd recommend, and everything in between. So before we get started, I do want to say if you are interested in purchasing anything from Flower Nose, I do have a discount code and referral links below. You can get 5% off of your order, and if you choose to shop with my links, I do earn a small commission from it, and I greatly appreciate if you choose to shop with my links. And it's not just for these products, it's anything on Flower Nose website. So if you've had your eye on anything and you want to get a little bit of a discount, my links will be below. As always, Flower Nose is one of the, in my opinion, most beautiful makeup packaging there is on the face of this earth, and these are no exception to that. I love the packaging of these, and I love that they are keeping the little bow details. We saw these with the last collection's perfumes as well from Strawberry Cupid, and I love that the bows are sticking around for a little while longer. So one thing I did notice immediately on the size of the packaging of these, they're not as tall as some of the other Flower Nose perfumes, and these are actually a pretty manageable size, so I do quite like that. You guys know I do have one of the all-in boxes from Strawberry Cupid collection. You can't see it, but it is right up here, and it has like a little shelf design, and I was really sad because the perfumes are so tall it wouldn't fit in the shelves, so I was a little upset by that one. But I think that these probably have a better chance of fitting in there because they're not as tall as the usual ones, but they are definitely very, very pretty. So these perfumes are $50 each, but Flower Nose does run a lot of sales, so I definitely say try to snag these whenever they've got a really good sale going, and honestly, they really have a lot of good sales, a lot. So starting off, we do have both of the fragrances. There is the pink one here. This one is called Crystal Apple, and the blue one here is called Lemon Ice Tea. Now, the one thing that struck me, if you guys saw my reacting to Flower Nose's Shells Jewel collection video, I hadn't looked up the scent notes yet, and so I had made like some predictions. Oh, I think these are going to be very oceany scented, very fresh, very clean, very aqua, very marine kind of style. I do have to say I was pretty wrong on that because scent-wise and name-wise, I don't really think that these particularly fit the theme of the collection. Like I said, I would have expected more of like ocean perfume kind of scents, but I will have to say I do quite like these. But let's go ahead and get into the first one here. So like I said, this one's called Crystal Apple. And the description from this one, it says it is a sweet, floral, fruity accord scent. And the top notes are yuzu, pomegranate, aquatic accord, and galbanum. I am not certain what that one is. The middle notes are apple, peony, lotus, magnolia, and the base notes are sandalwood, ambergris, musk, and moss. So I do have to say, just from the description of the scent notes, there are a few things in there that do kind of seem consistent with like the oceany theme. Like we've got the aquatic accord. I'm not quite sure what galbanum is, but there is also the moss and the ambergris. So those are definitely a little bit more of like an oceany themed kind of scent notes. But we definitely have a lot of fruity and a few floral notes in here as well. So let's go ahead and spritz this and see what we think. So I'm going to just spray a little bit on my wrist here. I want to give that a second to kind of air out. All right, so let's give it a smell. So far, I do quite like this one. Now, I will say, it does have a little bit of like a oceany kind of scent, but it's not as strong as I would have expected with the whole theming of this collection. But I definitely think a lot more of the fruit scents come through. So most notably the yuzu and the apple. So I'm definitely getting like that citrusiness from the yuzu and the sweetness and fruitiness from the apple. But I am also getting the floral notes as well. The peony and magnolia. I think those are really nice scents that work well with this perfume. I think if you like a little bit more of like a florally kind of perfume with a little bit of that fruitiness to it, I think you'll really enjoy this perfume. I quite like this one, but it's not my typical favorite kind of perfume scent profile. If you guys are not familiar, I really love like vanilla, sweet, kind of gourmandy type of fragrances. Those are definitely my go-to. But the more flower nose perfumes I have tried, I have definitely realized that they do kind of tend to stick more towards like the florally kind of side, which at first I didn't think I liked florals, but a lot of flower nose perfumes that I have tried, they're just so well blended and really like layered, complex scents, and I feel like this one is no exception to that. It has a very nice, like sophisticated smell. I use that term all the time for the flower nose perfumes, but I just feel like that's a really good descriptor for it. And you guys know that I typically don't really like a lot of like white floral type of scents. Like surprisingly, gardenia is not one of my favorite scent notes. Like a really like Marc Jacobs Daisy type of perfume. Like if you think about that type of perfume and perfume family, those are just not the ones I'm particularly drawn to, but I do think that this one does sort of fit into that family. It's not as like oceany as I would have expected from the theming of the collection, like I mentioned, but I do think it's quite a nice perfume. But is it one that if I were like blind buying this off of a shelf, like not in a beautiful bottle, and I was just going purely off the perfume, I think it's a really nice smell, but is it one that I would stop and be like, what is that? I need to buy that? Not necessarily, but it's one of those really nice perfumes that I feel like if I were to smell on someone walking by me, I would be like, oh, that's a nice smelling perfume. As it has kind of dried down a little bit and I'm kind of smelling it, I'm definitely getting more of like that sandalwood musky moss kind of scent to it. A lot of that fruitiness, I feel like it doesn't last too long, and a lot of like that musk and moss really does kind of start to be a little bit more noticeable the longer you've worn it. Okay, so I looked up what galbanum, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but what it says it is a gum resin with a distinctive green bitter-like aroma derived from plants in the Apiaceae family, including the Ferula genus. So Google kind of says it is often described as earthy, woody, and spicy, commonly referred to the scent of crushed green leaves, fresh cut grass, or plant sap. So maybe that is a little bit of that green scent that I'm getting. That must be what I'm smelling. I was not familiar with that note, so I think that's probably what it is. So far I do like this one, but I do want to compare the blue one now, so we're going to move on to this one. This one, like I said, is called Lemon Iced Tea. Now I do have to say, once again, going back to the theming, I feel like that one, just like based on name, doesn't really fit what I was expecting these perfumes to smell like. But let's go ahead and give this one a go. The scent notes for this one, it says it is described as a summer citrus breeze type of scent. And the top notes for this one is lemon, lime, green tea absolute. Middle notes are cardamom, peppermint, and petit grain. And the base notes are ambergris, musk, and labdanum. They are really trying me with these notes I'm not familiar with. We're gonna have to look that one up. So Google says that labdanum, once again, I don't know if I'm saying that right, is a main ingredient used when making the scent of amber in perfumes. Labdanum's odor is variously described as amber, sweet, woody, and powdery. Interesting. All right, so I am very intrigued. Let's go ahead and give this one a go. I'm gonna spritz that on this wrist. We're gonna give that one a minute to kind of air out. Okay, and let's give this one a smell. Ooh, this one? Okay, this one is interesting. So the name of this one was Lemon Iced Tea. I feel like that is a very good name for this perfume because that's really what it smells like to me. It does have that kind of like tea, earthy kind of like scent to it, but with that lemon and the lime scent on it, it gives it a very fruity, tropical, citrusy kind of smell. Oh, and I really like that one. Okay, that one's kind of surprising. Let me try to see what else I'm picking up on. So yeah, Summer Citrus Breeze, that sounds like a really good description for this perfume. This also smells very familiar, and I'm trying to like put my finger on what it smells like. Okay, honestly, it kind of reminds me, not exactly one for one, but very similar and in this family. There was this lotion brand I used to be obsessed with in high school, and I believe it was called Caldrea. I will try to put a picture of it on screen because it really reminds me, they had a lotion that was called Sea Salt Neroli, and it really kind of reminds me like of that scent. Like not exact, but definitely like very similar cousins. So as far as the scents I'm picking up on, definitely lemon, yes, lime, yes, and green tea kind of scent, yes, I'm definitely getting all of that. Cardamom, I'm not as familiar with that scent, like that individual note, so that's kind of hard for me to pick up on that, but I am picking up on a little bit of like a very slight kind of spice to it, but really like that lemon lime kind of tea scent is very, very prominent. Peppermint, let me think. You know, I can kind of see a little bit of the peppermint. I am gonna be honest, I am not familiar with what petite grain is, or petit grain, so I'm not quite sure. Ambergris, again, I'm not that familiar with that individual note, but the musk, it really doesn't smell as musky to me. Maybe like as it wears off, since that is a base note, maybe that is more prominent. But yeah, that lemon lime, oh, it's really, really good. Okay, I need to kind of like go back between the two perfumes now. So I think as far as my opinion on which perfume I like more, I have made up my decision. I am actually quite surprised, but I do like the lemon iced tea scent the most between these two perfumes. However, I do think both of these are really, really nice. I am just definitely more drawn to this one. And I do have to say, especially compared to the last two perfumes from the Strawberry Cupid collection, I did really love this perfumes, but for me, the Strawberry Milkshake one just really lacked the layered complexity depth that I feel like most flower nose perfumes has, but I loved the Lychee Bouquet one a lot. But I feel like these two both really have that true flower nose kind of like scent profile where it's very layered, very sophisticated, very complex. These don't have like that kind of one note scent to them that I feel like the Strawberry Milkshake perfume had, which even though I loved the scent of that one, I feel like the lasting power of that one wasn't very great, and it just did not have the complexity that a lot of flower nose perfumes have. And all that is to say that these I feel like are very much in tune with the typical flower nose quality and scent profile. So I am glad to see that these are a little bit more of the caliber I was expecting, since I was just a little bit let down by that last perfume. But yeah, between the two of these, like I said, I do think both of them are quite nice, but would I stop and pick this one up out of a blind kind of like smell test? This one I'm definitely more intrigued to. Now, it's definitely still not what I would typically go for in my favorite perfume profiles, but I think that this one is a really nice summer scent. To me, this one almost goes a little bit more of like a florally springy type of scent, but as far as like summer goes, to me this one just has a little bit more of that summer vibe to it, and for me, I think that this one is the winner between these two. Now, in the end, of course, I am a flower nose collector, so I do love both of these, and I would have purchased them no matter what because I do want to have the full collection. But if I was not a collector and I was really going to be very scrutinizing these two perfumes on which one I would buy, my clear winner would be the blue one. Now, I will be doing an updated perfume review video. I did one about a year ago at this point, reviewing all 11 perfumes from Flower Nose that I had at the time. But since then, we have had several new collections come out, new perfumes, and I have just not done an updated ranking of that perfume lineup yet. And I kept like waiting because I was like, oh, but the next collection's gonna come out. So now we are finally to the point where like I just need to do the updated review. So in that video, we are going to be adding to the rankings that I've already established, and we're going to be ranking the Butterfly Cloud Collar Collection perfume. So we have those two that we're doing. We have two of the perfumes from the Strawberry Cupid collection, and now we also have two perfumes from the Shell's Jewel collection, and in addition to those 6 perfumes, I actually not too long ago got my hands on the pink unicorn perfume. That one I believe was called Rose Reverie or Reverie Rose, I can't remember. So I was able to get that one. So we have 7 perfumes I'm going to be doing my updated ranking review on. So I am going to be working on that very, very soon, and hopefully I will try to get that up for you guys in a relatively quick amount of time. So I hope that this helped you in some way. I know sometimes it's really hard to describe perfumes, and I am absolutely not the best at it, but in the end I do the best that I can. So for me, my favorite was definitely the blue one, but I don't think you can go wrong with these. But I definitely think if you're more of like a florally type of person, I think that you'll probably like this one more. But if you do like a little bit more of like a citrusy, fruity kind of perfume, I think that this one's a really unique, interesting one. I can't really think of too many other things other than that lotion that I think that this smells similar to. And maybe if you have that lotion, or if you have access to smelling that lotion, I think that it's a pretty similar representation of what this one would smell like. But the pink one, I just don't really have much of a point of reference for this one, so unfortunately I can't really give you like a super solid like comparison to it. But definitely think like if you do like more of the white florals, I think you'll probably more in tune with this one. Alright, so that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe. You can follow me on social media. Links are below. And until my next video, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.